This is Dr. Reuben Chen, and welcome to the Vital Signs Podcast. Hi, this is Dr. Reuben Chen here. I'm here with another Vital Signs podcast, and I have a very special guest. A lot of people have asked for her to come on, so finally, I've got my sister, Sunny Beutler, the CEO of Sunrider International. Before we get started, I want to do a shout out again. Our big player here is Sunrider International. If you have not tried Sunrider's products, I recommend you go on to www.sunrider.com. We are the world leader in herbal health foods and cosmetics and household products, everything from herbal toothpaste, shampoo, even moisturizers. They are the best. So if you haven't tried them yet, check them out at www.sunrider.com or talk with your local Sunrider independent business owner for more details about the products and the business opportunity. All right, so long time coming. So this is my sister Sunny, and she is the CEO of Sunrider International. So before we get started, why don't you give a little background about yourself?
Well, hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Myself, I am the third of 5 children.
Yeah.
So I'm Reuben, or Dr. Reuben Chen's younger sister. I always call him Reuben. I don't call you doctor.
You don't need to.
Yeah. And we grew up in Utah. We moved to California when we were young for Sunrider, which my parents, doctors Tefu and Oilen Chen, started. And I grew up in California. I went to university at BYU, and I went to law school there as well. I served a mission for our church in Taiwan, and then came back home and got married. And we've lived in quite a few different places. We lived in here in California. We lived in Virginia, near DC. Lived in Tokyo, and then we came back here.
Okay, so those of you who don't know, so Sunny and I, we are separated by 2 years, but Sunny skipped kindergarten, went directly to first grade, so we've always been separated by like 1 year of school, all the way growing up. I was always
really good at addition and subtraction. So like, oh, first grade.
So Sunny has always been 1 year behind me all the way up through high school. Mm-hmm. We actually lived with each other in college. We have all the same friends. Mm-hmm. We argue probably the most out of any of the siblings, for sure. So it's sort of funny. So our kids look like they're actually all like siblings with each other. They look super similar. So, which is sort of funny. Okay, so when you started, you went to law school. Why did you decide to go to law school over other things?
Well, in Chinese families, you're either expected to be a lawyer or a doctor. And although I really liked biology, I did not really want to be a doctor. So I decided to be a lawyer. Also because I'm better at writing, and I like reading, and it just seemed like a logical step if I ever wanted to do business.
So here's a funny, did you always want to do business? Were you always thinking about doing Sunrider?
No, I think growing up, our parents were always telling us, they wanted us to do Sunrider. That was like my dad's number one goal growing up, right?
Yeah.
So, you want to go to school and then work for Sunrider. I was always come back and work for Sunrider. So I always had it in my mind, but number one goal was always to be a mom. I wanted to be a mother. So other than that, I was like, well, if everything works out fine, I love Sunrider, so.
We've grown up with it for our whole lives. Yeah.
Every summer after summer school, we go to Sunrider, and my parents would ask us to, fold letters. We got a lot of our annual summer convention. We'd fold all the registration packets and put all the tickets in for meals. And I mean, we did all that stuff all growing up, and worked in the customer service area, answered phone calls. So yeah, I mean, we've done Sunrider forever. So
yeah. So when you decided to do law school because you couldn't do science, which is not true. She could have done whatever she wanted to do, and she decided to be a lawyer. One of the things that Sunny has a very remarkable ability is that she has a very heightened sense of detail, which is you need as a lawyer, obviously, to catch those little things. And being a lawyer definitely, I think, uses those talents. So yeah. So why
heightened sense of detail? That's a good way to put it.
Heightened sense of detail. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can pick up things that I can't pick up for sure. So when you were in law school, what kind of when you were in law school, were you since thinking like, maybe I can go into business, or did you actually think about working in law?
Yeah, I thought about being a lawyer. I did like 5 internships during law school.
5?
Yeah, just to try different areas. I did like a court clerkship. I worked in NGO. I worked in a private law firm. I did a lot of different things. So I was just trying to figure out exactly what kind of law I wanted to practice. And so I was thinking I was going to practice law after I graduated, but I didn't know where. So I was planning on taking both the Utah bar and the California bar. I took the California bar first, and after I took that, I realized, wow, this test is super hard. I'm not taking a second one. So I only did the California bar. And but I actually just ended up praying about it. And then I decided that I would go straight to work for Sunrider instead of practice law.
So when you came back to Sunrider, what did you do?
My mom was the president at the time, and she's the boss. And so she told me I needed to work in different countries. So I started work with Eastern Europe and Russia.
What did you do?
I did a lot of work with IBOs, operations, things like that. And I only did it for about, let me think. This is before my mission.
No,
what was it? I get time so confused nowadays. I'm like, how long ago was that?
Well, if it's after law school, it's probably after your mission.
No, was it after law school or before? No. Okay, it was right after my mission. I came home. I worked for my parents for 6 months, and then I went to law school. And I did Eastern Europe at that time. And then I went to law school, and I did do an internship at our in Beijing with Sunrider, doing some legal work there. And then that was one of the internships. And after law school, I came back and I started working with all of our Asian countries. So I worked with Korea, Japan, and Taiwan. Those are the 3.
So what did you do?
Operations.
So for the layperson, what is operations?
Okay, so all the really boring stuff.
What?
No, a lot of fun stuff. What I really like to do is plan events. And so I did a lot of our conventions too. So I planned a lot of our conventions and global meetings, but I did mostly.
When she says she plans the conventions, she plans everything at the conventions, from entertainment, meals, even where people are sitting, and all of those details. She has been handling that for years. So
yeah, I recognize almost everyone's name, but I don't recognize faces. So sometimes I see all the names. But yeah, I like a lot of event planning. It's more fun.
Yeah, it's exciting.
But unfortunately, that's only one part of the year. So
yeah,
I do lots of budgets, pricing, just daily, any questions that arise. I travel to the countries a lot to go over staffing issues. I meet with our distributors or independent business owners who are our salespeople. And I would meet with, I would interview a lot of people for different managerial positions, renovation of offices, starting of new business plans, reviewing our sales plans, our product registrations. I did a lot of the legal work, review also for most of the countries. And right now I also do that is I oversee the legal departments. And I also did our hotels after I got back. So I did whole hotel operations because we own, at the time when I graduated from law school, we had just purchased our 2 Beijing hotels and our Taiwan hotel. So I went over the renovation of those as well.
So you basically are the backbone and helping to support all of those main structures within Sunrider.
Yes, but I try not to be a bottleneck.
That's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough, and those are a lot of things, and that's why I mentioned the attention to detail, because all of those things, if you miss a couple things, see, these are large, almost like large machines that are running, and they're running in lots of different countries, mm-hmm. and each of the machine pieces do integrate with one another, and if a piece is gone or is not operating correctly, it can actually tumble and unravel all of the other countries as well. So knowing all of the details and how they intertwine is a very important thing. Mm-hmm. It's not as easy as just going out and telling people what to do, although it would be great if that was the only thing that we did, but that's not. You got to analyze the budgets, the analytics are a big thing.
Yeah, so now we just look at everything as an overall picture. But I have a really good team, really good managers, and I rely on them heavily to keep me up to date on everything and remind me when I forget something.
So this brings me to the second point. So you worked with the managers, you worked with supporting Sunrider and the infrastructure there. And then how did you go from that to where you are right now? What was that process like?
Okay, so when I was hired after law school, my mother told me, she said, now, Sunny, this isn't a regular job. Lawyers, they work really long hours. She said, when you work for me, you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I said, wow. I said, okay. I'm like, I can do it. So I have a problem. It's called, I like work. I'm constantly thinking about work. So my mom took that under her wing. And she basically said, she just dumped me into the situation. She's like, we are going to launch a new system in all of these Asian countries, and you need to be in charge of that and roll it out. I worked with the lawyers. I rewrote all our business guides. Just every new country. And so as time went on, I just took on more and more countries. So just, more countries, more operations, more about the business plan, more about sales. And now, since I've taken over as CEO, more involved with manufacturing as well. So it's just, expanding slowly. And that took 15 years? So 15 years to learn all the different countries, all the operations, and now the manufacturing.
Okay, so now that you are the CEO, how has your position changed?
I have less time.
Really?
Yeah.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and now you have less time?
I definitely do not work 24 hours a day. I just think about stuff a lot. So, things have changed a lot. I think right now I'm just trying to be less micromanaging. I love details, but I don't want to be in the details all the time because I have to sit up and look at the bigger picture. So right now, my main goal is to look at the bigger picture, be more strategic, and see how we can move the puzzle pieces to go into the right direction.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So you're saying there's a difference then with being a manager and then being the person over the sort of directing the action.
Yes.
How is that transition?
I think over the years, I've been trying to let my managers do more. Obviously, you always think, I can do it. Of course you can do it, but it doesn't mean you do it the best. And if you do it yourself, you don't have time for everything else. So I've been trying to let my managers in different countries do more. So they're definitely the ones who are coming up with the plans, but we review everything in detail. We go over all the budgets together. I try to understand the thought process of everyone, but people are really creative. So I'm just trying to kind of keep up with everybody. That's the goal, right? Just to keep up with everything and make sure that I can see as far ahead as possible so that I can help them reach the end goal. And obviously we have our like values and our tenets, and I try to reinforce that with people. And, when they ask questions, I'm like, well, the plan is this. We want to try and stick as close to it as possible. So we just try to keep everyone on the same wavelength. So I think the difference is, yes, I love details and I like planning everything, but I also like seeing people succeed. So when people are doing really good in their jobs and they're achieving their goals and I don't have to help them do it, it's a lot better.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. So this is actually an interesting topic because, we've all been doing business for quite some time, and we've seen maybe more successful approaches to business and some less successful approaches. And this sense of trying to control every part is it's super common with mm-hmm. a lot of businesses where the person, the boss, whoever it is, they want to have control and sometimes they want to do it all themselves and sort of dictate to other people. So this type of approach is different. How did you sort of develop this over time? Did you see it in other businesses, or how did you come up with this philosophy?
I do not think I came up with it. I'm pretty sure that, like for most successful leaders, they don't have enough time in their day. So, just observing people that we knew who are successful, talking to other people and just seeing what people can do. Because I know if it was me, I just try to put myself in that person's position. If it was me, I would want to be able to present my own ideas and to, take something that I came up with to the very end. Mm-hmm. So that would give me a lot of, like a big sense of success. And we want our employees to feel that way too. So we want them to come up with an idea and be able to bring it out to the very end. And of course, there's going to be teamwork along the way. It's not just a one-person job. So I think just being in the business and seeing what people can do and seeing what their strengths are and just trying to cater to them, because everyone's really different, and just trying to get that person to feel ownership. And I feel like if you do that, then you're able to have people really want to stay with Sunrider. I mean, we've had people stay with us through retirement. I mean, we have a lot of 30-year plus employees, 20-year plus. Yep. We have 10-year plus that are going on 20-year plus, Mm-hmm. And so I think my parents did a really good job of, getting people excited and energized about Sunrider. And I think my job is to get them to be as creative as possible so that they feel some kind of ownership over the business and that they want to stay until they retire.
That's awesome. And that kind of loyalty, we value that. I think most mm-hmm. companies value that a lot.
Yeah.
So I like what you actually mentioned earlier, and you sort of described it well, is that you yourself do not want to be the bottleneck of your business.
Yes.
I mean, in the beginning, as somebody develops a business, you're probably the engine, but as it expands, you can easily become the bottleneck because everything then has to flow through you. And to be able to delegate that, to help other people, and still, I mean, it's tough to know that you can do something better, but then still have somebody else need to do it and have them have to be successful. That's a tough, takes patience.
Yeah, and I think it's always fine to give constructive criticism, and it's fine to help people because they want to know how they can improve. Mm-hmm. So I think our team members are great because they want to improve, they want to get better, but they know that in order for them to do that, they have to get everyone's input, which is great. So, everyone's going in the same direction. That's the goal. But yeah, I do not want to be the bottleneck. And I can see that happening sometimes. I look at my emails, I'm like, oh my gosh, there are way too many coming to me and they're all waiting for my response. So, if I have 200 or 300 emails and I have to respond to them right away, there's no way I could do that. It's impossible. I mean, the most emails I can get through in a day is maybe 100. If I'm like chugging as fast as possible, but it's like, there's no way if I want to do a good job. So I have to make sure that my managers and our directors, that they are able to do it too.
So if you are in a company and you want to progress or get promoted or something, what are the things that as like a boss, do you think that you're looking for?
Well, definitely someone who takes initiative. So somebody who has ideas and presents them in a thoughtful manner, not just, off the cuff, but someone who's really put a lot of thought into something, presents the ideas well and in a detailed and thought out manner, and someone who is a good team player. So not just, being able to come up with ideas, which is important, but having a real team player mentality, because we work in teams. I mean, there's no way anyone can do anything alone in this business. So, I mean, if you're in marketing, you have to work with IT, you have to work with sales, you have to work with operations, you work with manufacturing. I mean, there's not a single, like a one person who's going to do everything on their own. So someone who can come up with good ideas and present them well, but also someone who's a good team player. We take a lot of feedback from managers who feel like somebody has really stepped up their game, who's put a ton of effort in, and who's a team player. If they're not a team player, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So how about if you are interested, and I get this a lot, like, what should I put in my resume to be noticed, right? If I want to get a special position, because some positions, there's a couple that we were looking at, and we got like 200 applications for the same position. So what are you looking for when you're interviewing somebody or you're trying to find somebody to fill a position?
It depends on what the position is. If it was like a finance position, probably someone who has obviously all the prerequisites that we list in the job description, including, like CPA, or has worked X number of years in certain positions, who has a knowledge of XYZ, just everything that's listed in there. A lot of people submit resumes, but they're not really fit for the position. So, I mean, they didn't actually hit the main things. We usually separate it into must-haves and then nice-to-haves. And we write it pretty clearly on the job descriptions. The nice-to-haves is not necessary, but if they don't even have the must-haves, then we don't look at it. I mean, we'll call them and say sorry. But if they hit all the must-haves and they have a few of the nice-to-haves, then they start moving up. Yeah.
So so when you're applying for a job, try to make sure you have all of the must-haves in those categories.
I mean, yeah, and also good referrals. So references. So it's so much better for us if you left your previous employer on good terms, so that you could get a good referral.
Don't burn bridges when you leave.
Because it's hard for us to hire somebody if their previous employer makes no comments about them.
Yeah.
Which means usually they didn't leave on good terms.
Yeah. And it can be complicated because we have let some people go, and then the next employer that they're trying to apply to, they actually ask us, the company that actually let them go, for a reference, and that can be complicated.
Yeah. Usually we just say they worked here, this is their position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a couple of personal ones. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you are also a mom, and you work this 24-hour-a-day job as a CEO. How does that work?
I get very little sleep. I have 3 kids. They're 10, 5, almost 6. He tells me he's turning 6 next month, and 3. So it's very busy. But we're just really lucky that we have Sunrider, because I have a lot more flexibility since I'm in charge. I know that. I can take my kids to school and to doctor's appointments fine. And, we usually allow our employees the same kind of flexibility. They have time off, they can, if they need to work around their schedule, we'll try to accommodate. But just very lucky and blessed that my parents started Sunrider so that I could have that flexibility. I do work a lot of nights after the kids go to sleep. My husband is very supportive. He does a lot, even though he has a lot of things going on himself. And I mean, he's the room parent, not me. So people get confused.
Room parent, like in the PTA.
Yeah, that's him. And he does all the school events too. I mean, I go to all the school events as many as possible, but he's basically like knows everybody. And yeah, I take a lot of Meta Booster, which is a great product from Sunrider, and Top Focus, so that in the morning, because we don't drink coffee, and caffeine has almost zero effect on me.
Yeah,
so
for some reason, Sunny and I have no caffeine. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't do a thing.
But Meta Booster is our natural kind of pick me up. My dad developed it right before I took the bar exam. For California, and I thought I was going to fail because we had our convention just 2 days before the bar exam, and so I didn't study for 2 days, and I thought I was going to fail. But my dad's like, "Here, take this new product." It looked really funny because it was all these capsules in a white baggie, but he's like, "Take this right before your exam." I was like, "Okay," so I did it, and my mind was clear, and I just answered as many questions as I could, but I just felt so awake and focused. And so that's what it does for me. So I take that, and I take Top Focus, which is a great new product too, because it really helps you hone in. And I take them together. I know most people probably do not need to take as many as I do, but I take a lot, and I take it like twice a day. I don't think most people take Top Focus twice a day, but I have to. So I just work whenever I'm not taking care of the kids.
So for those of you who don't know, Meta Booster is a collection of unique amino acids that help to boost your metabolism. And that's where the energy comes from. And then Top Focus is a nootropic. And what that means is that it helps boost your memory in your brain. So you're able to hold thoughts, is mainly your short-term memory, so you can really work through ideas much better. So great combination. She takes quite a few, wouldn't maybe completely do what she does.
But I also recommend most people get a lot more sleep than I do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my husband's great. He's like my alarm clock. He's like, "Sunny, time to go to sleep." I'm like, "Oh, okay. He has to remind me. He's like, "Not tonight. You need to go to sleep tonight." I'm like, "Okay." So I try to do, like, if I have maybe one night of really very little sleep, maybe like 4 hours or something, then the next night I do 7 hours or 8 hours, usually 7. And I try to rotate it so I'm not like totally exhausted all the time. But no, he's really good. And like I said, as I'm going through this, I mean, I've only been CEO for 4 months.
Yeah.
So as we're going through this, I am hiring new managers, new directors. We're kind of shifting things in our organization, and I'm giving people more responsibility so that we can make sure that everyone has a good work-life balance. So I like to work. So
yeah, that's definitely your mode of operating. Now, what are some things that people can expect to see in the future for Sunrider?
Lots of great products.
I know.
I'm like, I can't say what they are exactly, but Reuben's been helping a lot with, since we shifted in our organization a little, I asked Reuben, I was like, "Can you please help with development of products?" And so he's like, "Yep." It's more, it's a fun
job. It's actually the most fun part.
I mean, my daughter has been like, "Wow, you have so many little vials everywhere."
I know, they're fun. I've got like boxes full of random stuff.
I mean, how many lip colors can you get? I don't even know. I mean, we just moved recently. I had to like throw away like maybe 30 or 40 lip colors. Madeline's like, "No," but yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we had just so many different kinds of skincare, products coming out, color cosmetics. We're thinking of doing different food products too, more snack items. I mean, we had a lot of ideas, and the goal is just to narrow it down so we can pick the best ones and really promote them in each country that we have. But I mean, new products is always a wonderful thing for us. I think that's what we're most known for, because my dad is amazing at developing products too. And so he has a lot of product ideas too. So I think our R&D team is very busy.
They're very busy.
Very busy. Lots of things, lots of ideas floating around until we narrow it down to which ones we're actually going to launch. But we probably have maybe 3 or 4 years of products in the pipeline right now.
Yeah. So R&D is research and development, and that is probably the engine of Sunrider, is making unique and interesting products.
Yeah. We also have a new manufacturing facility opening in Dallas, Dallas-Fort Worth area, in a city called Midlothian. And so we're in the final stages of completion for that. So we're working a lot on that. My brother Eric is in charge of that project. And I mean, we're renovating some hotels right now, getting everything up to par, because we've had a lot of downtime because of COVID. And so what better time to renovate than now? There's very low occupancy. So we're renovating our hotels at the St. Ermins in London, and we're renovating our Taipei hotel, finishing the renovation for that one. It'll be done soon. We just renovated one hotel in Beijing, just finishing it this month, and another one we're going to start the next month or so. So we're just getting everything done so that when occupancy goes up, then we have beautiful rooms for people to stay in and good facilities. And I wish we could actually go there, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to see all these new room products.
I'd love to go to London
in person,
yeah.
But we can't see it in person, unfortunately. It's all through photos and videos. So for Sunrider, I think we have a lot of, we have some really good marketing systems that are coming out, really good selling systems. Our IBOs and our preferred customers should be excited for what's coming out, because we have really interesting programs for both segments of people. So preferred customers are people who are kind of like VIPs with Sunrider. They like the Sunrider products and they purchase almost every month. So if you're like that, you should definitely become a preferred customer. And we have an auto ship program. We have benefits for our preferred customers, earning credits. And so I think our preferred customer program is really awesome. And we're coming out with that. And we're modifying it in many countries as well. A lot of it relies on our IT systems. And we've hired a new CIO who's been really helpful in helping us develop our IT systems and getting everything through the team. And internationally, I mean, there are just so many things going on in each country, lots of marketing programs, lots of promotions. We're trying to get people excited virtually. And how excited can you get over Zoom? I don't know. But I mean, it can be a struggle. So we're trying to get things going virtually, trying to get people excited, doing a lot of kind of short-term push sales, just trying to get things going every 4 months so that people can stay engaged in the business. Because a lot of times it's really easy to fall out of it, to kind of get in a funk if you're in your home a lot, or even if you're not at home all the time, but not following your normal routine. So things aren't open. We're trying to get people engaged at home. So we're trying to be as creative as possible, getting our virtual meetings and virtual incentives for, non-travel things going. Our big thing before was every incentive is a travel, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had to delay our Bali, Indonesia trip like 3 times during this pandemic. We just have so many trips that our New Zealand trip, we've pushed for another 2 years. So we have time to promote that. But travel is a really big thing for our sales force, but we haven't been able to do it. So we're doing a lot of different kinds of incentives for people at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. I love traveling.
Yeah. We would always kind of like, oh, who gets to go on this next trip? Who gets to go? But you got to go on the last one right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
A cruise.
Yeah, a cruise.
Right before.
Okay. So now you've only been CEO for a few months. and I know this probably isn't a thought in your mind, but have you thought about when you're done, what you want your legacy to be?
Like, that's a far away.
That's a deep one. I know.
I think I just want people to feel like they achieved a lot, and that they felt that they, like, I mean, like maybe two buckets. For the employees, I want them to feel like, wow, Sunrider was a great place to work for. I felt like I was personally able to achieve my goals, great personal development, and I had great coworkers, a great working environment. I think for employees, I want them to feel like that. And for our IBOs, our independent business owners, and our customers, I want them to feel like Sunrider is a place where they can totally rely on, that we have the best products, and that they're able to grow with us, that they can feel that they can stay with us for another 40, 50, 60 years.
Awesome.
And then I will take a great vacation.
Okay. So for people who, do you have, so because she's so busy, you probably don't do a lot with social media or anything. Nope. So to find out what is going on with Sunrider, what is the best place to look for that?
Probably our Instagram page. I don't post very often, but I mean, I probably post maybe 3 or 4 times a year, usually around my son who has Down syndrome, for Down syndrome awareness, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, probably our Instagram and Facebook pages for Sunrider International. I think some of our foreign affiliates, Sunrider India, they have a Sunrider Mizo page. They have really fun videos on their page for on Instagram. And Sunrider Malaysia has fun stuff too. So, I mean,
yeah, they have games and stuff. Yeah.
It's fun to see what people are doing. I mean, like I said, I am not 100% in control, which is great. People are very creative. And so it's good to see what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So for maybe that ambitious new person coming out of college, or and they're thinking about entering the business world, any kind of advice for them?
I would say work hard. Don't hold back. So I think we've had the experience where there are kind of two kinds of people that you hire who are new from college. One who like person A will put a ton of thought into things, but they will work extra hard and they will ask a lot of questions and make sure that they're getting you exactly what you want. Person B is someone who works when asked, right? Only when asked though. And they don't really put forth a lot of effort. So I would say if you're coming out of college, or if you're coming out of high school or whatever, put your best foot forward, work as hard as possible. Let your boss know that you're interested by asking questions. If you don't ask questions, then they don't know if you're actually paying attention. So I would rather you ask 100 questions than ask only one, because then I know that you're engaged and you're thinking about your job, versus if you only ask one question, I'm thinking to myself, this person is new. They absolutely do not know what they're doing, but they only asked one question. They're not interested, right? Yeah. They must not be interested. So ask questions, be engaged, ask your boss for more work if you're finished with something. Don't just chill.
Yeah. I have there's so many experiences with employees that whenever they ask for more work, I'm like, what?
That's nice.
That's amazing.
That's nice.
Yeah. So those are great. And those are the employees that we all remember for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I used to do that in my internships a lot, and people were a little confused too. Sometimes I'm like, is there anything else I can do? I would really like to do something else. And I think people can get in a kind of, they see the environment, they're like, oh, this employee is not doing a lot, I'll just kind of coast too.
Mm-hmm.
But what you don't know is that that employee hasn't been promoted in like 15 years. But you do not want to be that employee, right? You want to be the person who has a career path. So in order to do that, you just really need to let your boss know.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for spending time, because she is busy. So we have to schedule this way ahead. But we're very appreciative of Sunny coming down and talking with us. And I hope that you guys liked it. Please, if you guys like this video, share it with your friends. You can follow us on the Sunrider Facebook page, the Sunrider Instagram page, and we are obviously posted on all kinds of podcasts out there, wherever you're listening from, iTunes, all that stuff. All right.
Yep.
Thank you. All right.
Thanks.
See ya.